Let's move now from education to the industry. The global energy system is still, as Anne mentioned, largely dependent on fossil fuels. A dependency that needs to be reduced and preferably eliminated if we are to reach the Paris target of no more than 1.5 degree global warming. Now, key players in making that transition towards a low and zero emission economy are the energy companies, such as Equinor. They no longer refer to themselves as an oil and gas company, but as a producer of energy, renewable as well as fossil. And they do have a bold ambition to reach net zero by 2050, and not only for their own activities, but also for scope 3, which are the indirect emissions. That journey has started, and I wonder how they are progressing, also in these uncertain times. Now, the one who's going to give us an insight in that is Elisabeth Birkeland Kvalheim, Acting Executive Vice President for the relatively new business area in Equinor, the TDI, bringing together technology, digital, and innovation. She's here with us today and ready for questions afterwards, so please continue to use Slido. But with that, and with no further ado, please give your hands up for Elisabeth Birkeland Kvalheim.
Thank you so much for the introduction, and great to be here today and not at least see so many people in person. So I've been working in the energy industry for more than 30 years. But as the previous speaker had talked about, I've never seen such big changes, and there is also a sense of urgency now. And the changes are happening mostly in our industry, but they are happening so fast. And of course, we need the global energy transition, but it's still going too slow. And there's a lot of dilemmas at the moment. We need to combat the climate crisis, and we need energy security. And this is maybe the biggest challenge we are facing now. The industry and Equinor has changed a lot. All the major energy companies have developed new strategies. And in Equinor, our corporate strategy is now very firm. We are going to decarbonize the oil and gas. We are going to accelerate investments in renewables. And we are going to contribute with developing low-carbon solutions. So what does that mean? Actually, we are now aiming for utilizing 50% of our investments within renewable projects and low-carbon projects. And the goal is to achieve that 50% by 2030. And when it comes to renewable, today we have an installed capacity of 0.7 gigawatt, and we are aiming for 12 to 16 gigawatts by 2030. And I can promise you that is a stretch target. Within the low-carbon solutions, we are working really hard now to enable 1 to 2 projects in operation by 2035. And last week, we also launched our energy transition plan. And in that plan, we try to describe how we are going to be a net zero company by 2050. And as mentioned earlier, that includes the scope 3 emissions. So now we are working really hard to come up with the concrete actions. Some of these actions will be increasing energy efficiency, consolidation of infrastructure, and of course, abatement projects. And what do I mean with abatement project? Of course, some of those need to be electrification of the offshore installations, but of course also utilization of innovative new technical solutions like the Hywind Tampen project. So we need to transform the energy systems, but we also need to make sure that we have energy security and affordability. And the Ukraine crisis demonstrates that clearly. We expect the need for energy to grow rapidly over the next decades, And still, there is a lot of people that do not have access to energy. So, how do we do that? We need to develop effective solutions to ensure energy security, and this is an expectation from society. And this will require reliable supply, secure infrastructures, cost-effective technical solutions, and also integrated solutions. And of course, all this needs to be in line with the Paris Agreement, because we definitely need to combat the climate challenges. No one has all the answers today, but by joining forces, I strongly believe that we will achieve more. So now we need governments, industry, local communities, and academia to work together. It's also interesting to see that the first use of these innovative new technologies related to low-carbon solutions, like the Hywind Tampen, the Northern Light project, the NCT projects in UK, are all built on collaboration between governments with support from authorities. So at the moment, there is a fierce competition among all the energy companies to actually accelerate investments in renewables. But the big challenge now is that there are actually more money available than profitable projects. Similarly, there is a fierce competition to invest in startups, which we strongly believe will come up with a new big thing. And as mentioned from Anne, it's really important also to have a clear strategy and utilize academia efficiently here, because the students are key to accelerate this change. Lastly, I also want to mention the great collaboration between Equinor and NTNU. Last year, we signed an MOU, and that will last until 2050. So here we are working hard together to develop new technologies, implement new technologies, and hopefully contribute to accelerating the technologies we need to secure a low-carbon future. So now I'm looking forward to listen to the speakers today, to learn, and of course, see if we can together come up with some really good new solutions. So thank you so much for your attention.